Talking openly about self-harm to someone else isn't easy, especially if you're the person struggling with self-harm yourself. Or if you know someone else that is struggling with self-harm and you want to be there for them, you don't quite understand what they're going through. Bringing up this topic isn't easy. So that's why, in this video, I'm going to do my best to share some ways that I believe you can start that conversation. If you are someone that's struggling with self-harm, or if you know someone else, like a friend or a loved one, that you'd like to start this conversation with, I believe this video will be a helpful resource for you. I'm going to break this video down into 3 parts. The first part being warning signs, signs that you may see in someone else that could be inflicting self-harm. The second part being some tips when it comes to approaching someone to start that conversation, and even what that conversation may look like. The third part will be me sharing some helpful resources that I suggest you send your loved one or friend so that way they can get the help they may need right now. Now, when it comes to understanding the warning signs, there are some physical traits that you may pick up on if someone else is hurting themselves intentionally. You may see some scars, scabs, and cuts on the skin that can't quite be explained. Or when you try to bring up this conversation about these new blemishes that you're seeing, they quickly shut down and visibly look very uncomfortable talking about it. Another physical trait, your friend or loved one might be wearing long sleeves during warm weather, or they might even have sharp objects in their possession like razors, knives, and nail clippers. There are also verbal indicators that can help you sort of recognize if someone else around you is struggling mentally. Here are some phrases that you should listen to and watch out for. I'm just tired. This always happens to me. I just feel numb. No one cares. What's the point? Again, these are verbal cues that could show some connection between the self-harm that may be happening and your friend or loved one's mental health. Now that you've learned some physical and verbal warning signs, let's talk about how to start the conversation with the least amount of tension as possible. First, let's take a deep breath. Now, the reason why I did that is because I'm about to say something to you that you may not like when it comes to bringing up the conversation of self-harm. You cannot be judgmental. It's important to know that we all cope in different ways, and we never truly know what someone else could be going through. The person you care about and want to help may not even feel ready to talk yet, so you really have to go into this conversation with an open mind and an open heart. With that being said, here's some steps that you can take to help you start the conversation and let them know that you're really trying to be there for them. 1. Approach the conversation at the right time. Make sure when you bring up this conversation that the person you're talking to, the both of you are alone and you know the both of you have time to talk. This allows for a more comfortable and open space to ask and say these 2 questions without overreacting. It seems like you're in a lot of pain. Do you want to tell me what's going on? They may respond by asking why. What makes you think that? Or why would you say that to me? The next thing you could say afterwards is this. I noticed that there are some scratches on your arm and I'm worried because I care about you. Have you been hurting yourself? Have you been feeling down? These questions are tough to ask and it can really catch them off guard. So that's why, again, it is important that you approach them at a time and a place that is comfortable, open, and alone. The second step, listen and seek understanding. No matter how much you've experienced in your own life or how much you may think you understand mental illnesses, it is impossible to completely know what someone else is fully thinking or fully feeling. So it is best during this conversation to really listen a lot more than trying to relate to the other person's experiences or talk and share how you're relating to what they're saying. Completely give them time to express how they're feeling with open ears and an open mind to just understand and try and see where they're coming from. This third step is crucial. Be supportive and encouraging. You may try to bring up this conversation with your friend or loved one, and they may not even be ready to talk about if they're inflicting self-harm. But please understand that you are still adding value and positively impacting the situation and showing them that you cared just by sitting with them. So the best way to be supportive and encouraging is to remind the person that you're talking to that you care about them and that you'll continue to check on them from time to time. And by the way, please don't give the person you're talking to ultimatums or ask them to promise you to stop doing this, because that could really shut them down and stop them from wanting to open up about this again. So support them and be there for them without adding that additional emotional pressure. The fourth and final step I have for you is help them when they are ready to get help. This step takes a lot of time and patience to get to because you first had to really commit to steps 1 through 3 and allow the person you're talking to really begin opening up. And then after some time, when they become more comfortable and they're able to share more openly about what they're going through, you may be able to sense that they are now able to talk about options of help. Some helpful options are things like asking them to talk with their parents or other people that they trust about what they're experiencing and what they're going through. Or you can even suggest talking with a professional counselor or therapist. If they want to talk to someone immediately, there are also resources like the crisis text line and the U.S. National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. If you are struggling with self-harm yourself, these resources are there for you to contact as well. All right, I hope that the information in this video was helpful for you, and I hope that it helps you really begin to start that conversation with your friend or your loved one that you have on your mind. If by this point you still feel like you want another resource, or you're interested in looking at different programs for depression, anxiety, and possibly even trauma, Sandstone Care does provide treatment programs for teens and young adults going through these battles. If you want to get into contact with a real person who will want to get to know you and your situation and will want to help you with your first steps into starting these programs, you can live chat them right now at sandstonecare.com or call the number below. Contacting them will help you get started and moving in the right direction. All right, I have talked enough in this video. If you have any other questions that you would like Sandstone Care to answer, make sure to leave a comment down below. I hope you or your loved one get to feeling better. Have a good one.